I am Fred Myers, the founder of For the Fathers Ministry, and this is Faith by the Numbers. Count your way to wisdom in number 193 of this series, 7 Things About False Prophets. This is one of 3 descriptions of false Christian leaders. Jude calls them certain people. Paul calls them false brothers, and Peter calls them false prophets. In Ephesians 2, verse 2 and 3, we learn that all unbelievers work for Satan. And Paul says that they use the tricks of Satan by disguising themselves as angels of light. The heresy they bring is described as coming from within the church. These false leaders are brought in by those who are already in the present congregation, and the ones that brought them into the church are influential members of the congregation. Some may say this warning was only for the churches of that day, but both Jude and Paul's warnings are for the church in general, and Peter verifies these warnings are for the church today in 2 Peter 2:4 by saying, just as there will be false teachers among you. 7 things about false prophets. 1. False prophets rise from among the people. 2. False prophets are already within a congregation of Christians. 3. False prophets are disguised as Christian members of a church. 4. False prophets are brought into the church secretly. 5. False prophets teach destructive heresies. 6. False prophets deny Jesus Christ as the Son of God. 7. False prophets are the cause of their own destruction. Given that these false prophets disguise themselves as angels of light, Christian discernment would tell you these false prophets are approving of worldly pleasures. The Bible describes sin as fleeting pleasures. God describes heaven as eternal. Choose wisely. Choose the eternal good of God. I am Fred Myers, and this is Faith by the Numbers. It is my prayer that many will count their way to wisdom through this series and find the peace that surpasses all understanding.